6. Today we're going to take lesson 9.5, equations and graphs. Since we started chapter 9, we took equations that look a little bit different because they have two variables, one dependent and one independent. Okay? How are we going to solve these types or this type of equations? By graphing. We can translate between equations and graphs. We are going to graph them on the coordinate plane. If you remember from quarter 1, the x-axis is the horizontal axis and y is the vertical axis. And we know if we want to graph a point, we have the x-coordinate, which comes first, and then we have the y-coordinate. And you have to write it like this, between brackets. The x comes first, comma, then the y-coordinate. Okay, and you remember when I told you, you walk first from the 0.0, walk until you reach the exact value of x, okay, and then move up to the exact value for y and plot this point, and this is your ordered pair for this point, okay? What this lesson means actually, when we have an equation that has two variables, like here, this equation in front of you, y equals x plus 3. How can I solve this equation? Do I have technique like one-step equation and the inverse operation? No, actually I am going to use graphing. I'm going to use a table. Okay. This table has the x value and the y value. And if he gives me some points for x, I need to find the corresponding value for y. Okay? These points are all of them are solutions or solution for my equation. Why? Because they make my equation true. They make my equation true. So here it says the solution of an equation in two variables is an ordered pair that makes the equation true. For example, if I take when x equals 2, I want to find the value of y. Let's substitute in this equation. Y equals, remove the x and put what? 2. Okay, then complete, plus 3. 2 plus 3 equals what? Equals 5. So when x equals 2, y equals what? 5. This is called an ordered pair. I can write it like this, 2, comma 5. Do I have many solutions for this equation? Yeah, I can put another point like 4. Okay, so y equals, remove the x and put 4, plus 3 equals 7. So when x equals 4, y equals 7. This is what a solution for my equation. I'm going to write it like this, between brackets, x comes first, 4, then comma, then the value of y. So I don't have one solution. I have many solutions because this makes my equation, this equation true. These values make my equation true. Then I'm going to graph these points. I'm going to graph these points on the coordinate plane. Not on a number line because I don't have only x, I have x and y, so I need to draw it or graph it on my coordinate plane. When I graph it, what will I see? I will see a straight line. I will see a straight line. So this form of equation is called a linear equation. A linear equation is an equation whose solutions form a straight line on the coordinate plane. Any point on the line is a solution of the equation. So this type of equations that has two variables here has many solutions, not only one solution. So let's see in your book, page 518, how can we solve questions on this lesson? Here it tells you graph the linear equation. He gave me an equation, okay? I need to have a table, okay, like this one. He tells me you can make a table of the values, then graph. He already gave me a table with certain values of x. I need to find the corresponding value of y. When x equals 2, y equals 0. If you remove this 2, so you will have 2 minus 2, then y will equal what? 0. Let's solve when x equals 4. Let's see what's the value of y. Y equals, remove the 4, remove the x and put 4, minus 2 equals what? Equals 2. So at x equals 4, y equals 2. Okay, when x equals 6, what's the value of y? Again, plug in or substitute in this equation. Remove the x and put 6. 6 minus 2 equals what? 4. So when x equals 6, the y equals what? 4. Okay, when x equals 8, what's the value of y? Remove the x and put 8. 8 minus 2 equals 6. So all of these points are, all of these ordered pairs are solution of my linear equation here. So I need to plot them or graph them or draw them here on my plane, my coordinate plane. This point here, how can I write it? X comes first, between brackets 2, 0. Here 4, 2. 6, 4. 8, 6. Okay, let's graph on my coordinate plane. How can I graph these points? Let's look here at this picture. It tells you what? Draw the x coordinate first, okay, then the y coordinate. Move to the right, then up, okay? So at the first point, x equals what? 2. Move until you reach x equals 2, okay? Then y equals 0. Will I go up or down? I'm not going to move anywhere because here y here equals 0. So this is the first point, 2 and 0. The second point, 4 and 2. Move from 0 until you reach 4. Okay, then I'm going to move upwards until I reach what? 2. So here is my second point. This is 4 and 2. Okay, the third point, 6 and 4. Move from 0 until you reach 6, then move upwards until you reach 4. This is my third point, 6 and 4. My last point, move from 0 until you reach 8, then go upwards until you reach 6, and this is my last point here, 8 and 6. Now I am going to connect these points together. Okay, this is a little bit. This line is the solution of this equation. Any point that lies on this line is a solution for this linear equation. Like here, guys, I'm going to change the color, maybe. Can someone tell me if this is a solution? This point here, what's this point? I didn't change the color, I don't know why. Okay. This point here, is this a solution? What's this point? What are the ordered pair here? if I move down, okay, this is, if I move down until I cut the, I don't know why this is not helping me here. Where is the point? Okay, I'm going to move vertically like this, perpendicular, until I cut the x-axis at what? 7. And then move like this until I cut the y-axis at what? This is 5. So this point is what? X comes first, 7, then y. This is a solution for this equation. Why? Because it's on this linear or the straight line. It's on it, so it's a solution for my equation. I can simply check at, okay, at x equals 7. We need to find the value of y. Y equals what? Remove the x and put 7 minus 2 equals 5. So this point is what? 7 and 5. It is a solution for my equation. So I can find other ordered pairs on my graph here. Okay? This point here, this is what? If you go down here, this is 5 and this is 3. And you can check your answer. So all these points that are on my straight line are solutions for my equation. This is a way to solve this equation, okay? Now let's go to example number 2. It says here that y equals 3x. Did he give me a table like this? No, but I can easily make one here. Okay. X and y. X equals 0. When x equals 0, y equals what? 3 times 0 equals 0. Okay, take another value for x. X equals 1. 1 times 3 equals 3. So y equals 3. I can take another value. When x equals 3, 3 times 3 equals what? Equals 9. Let's plot these ordered pairs. I have the point 0, 0, 1 and 3, and 3 and 9. The first point, 0, 0. This point here is 0, 0. The x is 0 and the y is 0. The second point, when x equals 1, y equals what? 3. So this point here, this is 1 and this is 3. This is the first point. The second point, okay? This is the second point. The third point, when x equals 3, here is 3. Move upwards until you go to what? Y equals 9. It's this point here. So I'm going to connect these points together. It's very difficult to draw this straight line. So this line here is a solution for this equation. Any point on this line is a solution for my equation. Okay? Now let's move on to page 519. Here he wants me to write an equation for this relationship from this graph. So he gave me certain points, okay, and I need to write an equation. It is very easy, by the way. We can make a simple table, okay, here, to find the relation between x and y. X, y. X equals 2, y equals what? 1. X equals 4, y equals what? 3. X equals 6, y equals 5. X equals 8, y equals 7. So we need to figure out what happened. And here I told you before, look at the values of x. I have 2, then it became smaller. So you will use subtraction or division. Okay? 4 became 3, 6 became 5, 8 became 7. So I believe that we are using subtraction. This is the relation. Y equals X minus 1. How did I know this? I'm going to try. Remove the X and put 2. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Okay, let's try another one. Here, when X equals 4, remove the X and put 4. 4 minus 1 equals what? 3. So this is the correct answer. We can take another point to check. When X equals 8, remove X and put 8. 8 minus 1 equals 7. So this is the relationship between X and Y. Here also I have my line. I need to draw the table. I don't know the equation. I want to figure out my equation. So X and Y. What's the relation between X and Y? What happened? Okay, when you put X equals 2, Y equals 1. Okay, when X equals 4, Y equals what? 2. When X equals 6, Y equals 3. When X equals 8, Y equals 4. Again, if you look at this table, what happened to the X? What happens when you have certain values for X? What will happen to the Y? We notice when X is 2, Y is 1, so it's decreasing. 4, it became 2. The value is decreasing. It's getting smaller. So, am I using subtraction or division? Let's see what's the relation. 2 became 1. 4 became 2. 6 became 3. I don't think that we are using subtraction. Because what will I subtract? Something constant each time. So, Y equals, I believe that if you look at the values of Y, that the values of Y are half the values of X. So I am dividing X divided by 2. Let's check. 2 divided by 2 equals what? 1. 4 divided by 2 equals what? 2. Yes, this is right. I'm going in the right correction. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. So this is my relation or my equation that we found from the graph. Okay, now here, page also 519, it says graph. Graph the linear equation. So I need to make my own table. X and Y. So I can put X equals 0, okay? Then I can have X equals 1, X equals 3. That's enough, 3 or 4 points, okay? When X equals 0, remove here X and put what? 0. So 0 plus 1, Y equals what? 1. When X equals 1, remove the X and put 1. 1 plus 1 was 2. When X equals 3, remove the X and put 3. 3 plus 1 equals what? 4. So now let's graph these ordered pairs. I have 0 and 1, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So 0, when X equals 0, Y will equal what? 1. So this is the first point. Okay? The second point, when X equals 1, Y equals what? 2. This is a second point. The third point, when X equals 3, Y equals what? 4. So this is my third point. Now I can connect between these 3 points It's not a straight line. This is my linear equation, this here. Okay? Now, the last example here, I have this equation. I want to graph it. Also, I will make a table. Assume some values for x and get the corresponding value for y. We'll have 0. Then I can have 2. Also, I can have 4. Okay? When x equals 0, this point will be negative. We only have one coordinate, so maybe I can make this 1 instead of 0. I can. It's okay. X equals 1. So when x equals 1, what's the value of y? I'm going to write here. X equals 1. Find the value of y. Y equals 2 times 1 minus 1. 2 times 1 equals what? 2. 2 minus 1 equals 1. So when x equals 1, y equals 1. Okay? When x equals 2, what is the value of y? Y equals 2 times 2 minus 1. 2 times 2 equals what? 4. 4 minus 1 equals 3. So when x equals 2, y equals what? 3. Okay, the last point, when x equals 4, y equals what? 2 times 4 minus 1. 2 times 4 is 8 minus 1 equals 7. So when x equals 4, y equals 7. So my points here that I'm going to draw, 1 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 7. These are my ordered pair. At point 1, x equals 1, y equals what? 1. When x equals 2, y equals, when x equals 2, y equals here 3. When x equals 4, y equals what? 7. And now we are going to connect these points here, and this is my linear equation. So this lesson is actually simple also, but it needs some practice, how to graph your ordered pairs, how to substitute in your equation to find the value of y for each x value. This line here is the solution for this equation. Any point that lies on this line is a solution for this equation. Okay? Your homework actually is page 521. Okay, thank you very much, grade 6, 521, from 1 to 4. Okay, thank you, grade 6, and take care. Bye-bye.